Hello guys, I hope you had a nice day, and today I've decided to do another video on violence. Remember, this is something eating into the current society, so it's a cancerous situation that is really disturbing every day in families. It is disturbing in schools, it's disturbing in every other institution of the society. Now today it's very saddening that a child of 3 months was almost killed by the father in Busia, and I hope you've seen or you're going to see just a small clip on this. Now you remember there is a time I created another video on violence, and I think we discussed why violence is very common in the current society. Now the situation is people have turned into very emotional individuals, possibly because of the economic times. We normally talk about economies and how they affect individuals. And of course, one of the things that is saddening and is a reality is that when economic times are harsh, then people are prone to be very emotional and they can always think of murder. That's why we are seeing cases of homicide very common, and the other forms of killings that we shared before, and violence. Anyway, before we can go far, let me ask, what can motivate a father want to kill a 3-month-old child? I know many people would speculate and maybe possibly say the child is not his or something to do with maybe a sour relationship, but that does not justify such brutal situations. I always say, regardless of your own personal situations or differences between you and your partner, you don't qualify whatever you are doing through brutality or animosity. Now guys, let's turn to the video first before we can proceed further.
Chilling and disturbing news. A 3-month-old baby from Nangoma village, Busia County, is recovering from severe head injuries after being attacked by his father with a slasher following a domestic dispute. According to the child's mother, Wilfresha Onyango, the father, Collins Oma, began quarreling before grabbing a slasher and attacking the baby in an attempt to kill him. Neighbors intervened, apprehended the suspect, and handed him over to officers from the Matayos police station, where he is being held as investigations continue.
I believe if you have a human face, you've actually seen what happened here, and you can sympathize with this man if you look at what happened to this boy. This young boy, you can actually see he has been deformed. And let's clap for those who actually saved the boy by arresting the man and forwarding him to the police. And this is what I said the other time, that if we look at the current homicide situations, if neighbors or the people around can be ready to help, then we cannot have situations of death as it has been happening. So you need to be applauded, the people in Busia. Let's take our guitars and play for them, because they actually saved this boy, and I know if he's gonna grow up, he will celebrate the people who saved him. I also know that Anyango is appreciating these neighbors for having saved the son from the hands of a brutal father. And this should be the spirit in Kenya, because you can't see somebody attacking and then you just say it's not, your cause, it's not your problem. Today they attack their family, tomorrow they'll attack you as a neighbor or anybody else, because if people are violent, they don't choose who to attack. And they may justify in whichever way their actions, but it is what it is. Yeah, so let me just share some information here. Unfortunately, I'm in a situation where the internet is a problem here. And that's why, guys, you are not seeing me making a lot of videos because I have to wait like 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. I've bought bundles, but it can't really serve me. It's unfortunate anyway, but we have to cope with it. That's why I'm trying to just put a one video or sometimes a short clip and something just to sustain. But I love you guys. Continue watching the videos. And if we don't talk about what's happening around us, then it means we are blind, and we can't give a blind eye to situations such as what is happening actually. When it comes to a situation where a father wants to kill a 3-month-old child by using a slasher, yeah, this is the depth of atrocity that is happening around us. And we have to, you have to get all your time and talk about this, condemn such situations, so that not many people will continue doing the same. Yeah, these people need counselors, they need all sorts of mental health care and all that, but before then, we cannot just sit and say they are, they can't just be treated as sick, but sometimes we can treat them as hooligans, because in whatever decisions they make, if they move from being human beings to beasts, then we begin by blaming them first before we dig into why they did so and why people are violent. And of course, if you go back to the video I shared, you will understand why people are violent. As I've told you, the economic times, maybe social situations. Then we are really, every day we are being fed with news full of brutality, cruelty. And they always say, you are what you eat. And the eating is not just eating food, it's eating news, eating the situations around you. That means if you're watching a lot of violence, you are living in a society full of violence, you are prone to be violent. We also know in psychology, based on how you were brought up, a society in which you live, what happens around you can turn to be what you will practice. I don't want to repeat the theories I shared with you earlier, but if you're following my videos, you understand the source of violence in the society. And then what do? It's important that we read between the lines. We discover early the violent people before they reach us. And of course, we know such people, they are short in their temper, ill-tempered people. Yeah? If anyone has ever tried to use any tool, then it means they can just be as the father we are watching here. Yeah? So I'm trying to check information, but unfortunately there is a letdown on internet. But we have to do something regardless of the situation. Now, why is violence also very common in the current times? It seems people have lost the virtues, and they do not understand that there are other methods of solving problems. And then, just as I said the other day, people think they possess others, especially in situations where men believe they possess women, so they can do anything to them. And the society has had to uphold this because they support. When they see women being mistreated, or even kids, they do not rebuke, So if you are not refuting such situations in the society, what do you expect? The other thing is, if you look biblically, many people will say there are final times. But can we really just accept such situations because we are saying these are the final days they talked about, when the son will turn against the father and the father against the son? No. We should rebuke this. Again, another thing happens when we keep quiet. I believe Anyango, if she can tell us about the husband, it's possible this man has had such situations of violence before. Now, what I'm asking myself is why direct these emotions when he was quarreling with the wife? Now he turned his emotions towards the young boy, a 3-month boy. And if you look at the wound that was left on the face, I do not know whether this man believes if he survives, then the son will forgive him. I don't know. Anyway, they say biblically forgiveness has no boundaries. But then, a scar is a scar. Okay, so I know many bloggers, the news people and all that will continue creating content on this because, of course, when such things strike, that's when we have to talk loud than at any other time. So I may not talk much, but from that little I've shared, I think our senses have to be on, we have to be keen, observe those who are with us all the time, and protect kids. And of course, neighbors act just as the people at Busia did. Yeah. So I'm planning to do more videos on many other things. But for now, let's just stop there. And I really, really appreciate you for watching my videos, and I request that you continue requesting for more topics and aspects that I've not talked about. And if you have students whom you want to follow content based on the text and language and any other areas, consider doing so. So have a nice time, and I hope when we meet next, you'll be well and fine. Bye-bye.